Here's a phrase that makes about as much sense as putting anchovies on a pizza. Let's talk about rule of thumb. A rule of thumb is a general principle based on experience and common sense, not intended to be scientifically accurate. For example, as a rule of thumb, you should have 5 healthy meals a day. Or, a rule of thumb for seeing Michael Bay movies is to expect over-the-top explosions in every scene. Another great rule of thumb is to drive faster in inclement weather to spend as little time as possible on the treacherous roads. What is the origin of the phrase? I thought you'd never ask. The earliest traces of rule of thumb are from the 1600s. In various trades, quantities of goods were measured by comparison of the length or width of a thumb. This makes sense since the length of a thumb is generally 1 inch. But what if there were a buyer with exceptionally large thumbs? The seller would say, 1 thumb's length of Skittles for scalp massage? And Andre the Giant would show up with a beer and say, I want to taste the rainbow. He could get everything at a bargain, twice the Skittles for the same head scratcher. A misunderstood origin of rule of thumb relates to domestic violence. In 1782, the English judge Sir Francis Buller was ridiculed for allegedly stating that wife beating was okay as long as the husband used a stick no thicker than a man's thumb. There is no evidence of Buller officially making such a statement, and the so-called rule of thumb law did not exist, so this origin story is in fact fake news. On a lighter note, thumbs have historically been used in brewing beer. Before thermometers were invented, brewers commonly used their thumbs to measure the temperature of beer. Beer is generally fermented around room temperature, but thick-skinned individuals have a tough time measuring warmth by the rule of thumb. This is why brewmasters were commonly thin-skinned and overly sensitive. All jokes aside, whatever the origin, we can all agree that if we didn't have opposable thumbs, none of this would have been possible.